Hey guys, it's your humble host, or Kid if you prefer, so I'm back with another video. I just got some rather upsetting news, and apparently after, and I don't know if it has anything to do with my video, I don't know, I didn't see anybody else talk about it, but I just got word, and I went and looked on the article by Anime News Network. The victim, Duncan, has retracted his accusation, and not only that, the document he released is gone. I have a copy of it. I knew better to save it. With that being said, though, I'm going to show you the statement, and I think this entire thing is just bullshit. Update as of 3/14/22, the alleged victim has retracted his accusations and issued the following statement to Anime News Network. At this time, I wish to permanently retract my statements and allegations regarding Daman Mills. I wish to apologize for potential harm I've caused anyone involved with or affected by this incident. Thank you for your understanding. So, in a nutshell, he was scared into silence. That is what it is. And also, for those of you who actually watched the video I released about and exposing the victim, there's a pinned comment that I had put, and I want to say the KiwiFarm user is the robot, or just a robot, the robot, where they had pointed out, because I didn't notice this when I first went over the document, that the document itself was created October 21st of 2021. So that was 5 to 6 months ago, meaning Anne had sat on the story for 5 to 6 months. And Lindsay was talking about, or Lindsay, however the hell you pronounce that witch's name, I don't care, was talking about how she sat on it, she had been a nervous wreck. So this was done on purpose. These people are just freaking scum. And I watched another video by Yellow Flash, and he was right. Nothing is going to be done about this. And there is many facets to this problem as to why, because, and this is nothing to Duncan. I understand the fear, I understand, but when you back down and you do not fight for your voice, as I said, needed to be done in my first video, then it could happen to other people. When you don't say something, he could have other victims, and I encourage them to also come forward. Here's the problem. Here's a really big problem, because I'm seeing this more and more. A lot of people are saying it. I'm seeing commenters in various videos saying it, that what happened with Vic Banyana was a political hit, that they did it because he was way too popular. Vic Banyana had quite the reputation. And he voiced so many characters, including extras. He was Christian. He's a white straight male. So there's a plethora, and from what was exposed just from the Vic Banyana incident, a lot of those people are freaking degenerates. Sonny Strait, as I mentioned before, if that dude was my husband, he'd be a dead man walking with what the crap he does with his fans. No joke. So this is really upsetting, because you have now a predator who's allowed to run wild, and of course he's going to get protected, and as the Umbrella Guy, Yellow Flash, and a few others have pointed out, none of the other people, Mars Girl, Monica Rial, none of the big voices that are like, oh, well, we witnessed Vic do this, are saying anything, even though there's text messages proving some of the context. I mean, you guys had nothing to back up your accusations of Vic. You had freaking Emmett Plant trying to do some weird story that I swear to God was pulled out of his ass with the way that it was written. It sounded like some weird freaking messed up fanfic or a weird fantasy story. There was another lady that tried to claim that Vic raped her when she was in high school and he helped with the play Mousetrap, and the photos looked a little bit weird, the coloring, but that could be chalked up to Darkroom Penny. And there was a lot of stuff that came out, but none of it was proven factual. None of it was proven to be true. And yet here you have somebody who, because he's of a protected class, a freaking queer VA, nobody's going to touch him. This is how these markets fall apart. This is how shit goes to hell. And Funimation wonders if they actually have any self-awareness, wonders why their company just got munched up or absorbed into Crunchyroll. And actually, let me point out coincidences. After the Vic Mañana stuff broke, and about like a year or so, did you notice how the investors and how Funimation started to lose its reputation? It had been losing its reputation for a while because of its crappy platform, and then not to mention freezing its entire subscription retraction. People were unable to unsubscribe and stop making payments to Funimation when the Vic Mañana stuff broke out because people were pissed off. And Funimation didn't want to lose all that money. That came out too. That was an alleged rumor, and I know you can manipulate the page just for you to take a screenshot of it. So, but still, there was those allegations going around. And then it come to find out, quite a few people at Funimation had their freaking hands dirty. So you had some of those nasty pictures of a lot of these VAs embedded each other as a joke. Okay. You have rumors and allegations of Chris Sabat's casting couch, how you had to do something sexual for him to get you onto a specific project or thing. Again, those were allegations. No one's come forward proving those. Again, as I mentioned in my other video, fixing the broken staircase, that was never about fixing shit. That was a freaking hit list of people that they didn't like. And I'm so freaking pissed off. I'm not even involved in anime. I chose not to draw it or invest in it artistically when I was younger because I was told by art deans to stay away from it. And in the long run, I am glad. I am so glad I didn't invest in that world. Don't get me wrong, I still like watching certain shows, but I never invested it much like these other people did. It just, why? Why would you, when you have freaking predators and you have these freaking scumbags and freaking just, I'm going to say what it is, whores running around, and they want to point the fingers at everybody else except for themselves, create a nasty freaking environment, and now you have, how many other victims just got scared into silence because Anna's incompetence? You know, I had somebody in my comment section mention that this could have been an open threat to Duncan because they purposely, like I said, I'm going to point this out again as I pointed out in my other video. There is no way this freaking Lindsay author person did not do this shit on purpose, because when the Vic Mañana stuff was going out, they saw KiwiFarms, a bunch of people got doxxed on KiwiFarms, a bunch of stuff got documented and dug into. There is no way in the 9 circles of hell Lindsay did not know that KiwiFarms would jump all over this freaking article and dig through it like they know how to every single time. There's no way this shit was done on accident. And the fact that KiwiFarms, again, I'm sorry if I have your username a little bit wrong here. I remember it's on page 5. It's in the pinned comment section of my last video about Anime News Network exposing the victim. Anne sat on this shit for 5 months. 5 freaking months being a nervous wreck. So they don't want to call it their own kind. They don't want to call it their inner circles. They don't want to call anybody out that could turn around and potentially financially ruin them or hurt them. And this is what sucks. Nobody has the balls anymore. Nobody has the spine to do what needs to be doing. It's so infuriating, and just, there's so many, excuse my language, fucked up variables about this entire situation. And we still have the document. We still have the chat log. So even though, and I'm sorry, Duncan, you feel you had to pull back, and I really encourage you. I wish you didn't put out that statement. You would have had many people back you, even if it went to a legal means. From the text messages, a full log. You had a lot of people supporting you, still do, by the way. And many people are aware of the disgusting shit that goes on at Fun Animation, which is now defunct and devoid. A lot of people became very familiar with a lot of these BAs' behavior and past history during the Vic Mañana stuff. So you have to do what you have to do, but at the same time, because you got scared into silence, you possibly helped scare many of his other victims, if he has any more, and I'm assuming he has a bit, because you're not the only one he's done this with, Duncan. And because you have allowed your voice to be snuffed out, there's many other voices, I'm sure, who have now don't even have a chance to speak out because they saw another victim, get scared into silence. So this is what happens, and I just want to say this across the board in general. When you stand up and you speak something that is actual truth, I'm not saying my truth, your truth. I'm not talking about that dumb shit. That doesn't even, no. I'm talking about state the facts, actually what happened, regardless of what people are going to say about you, regardless of what they're going to do. When you stand your ground, it's not easy. Sometimes it really freaking sucks because you can lose relationships, you can lose work, you can lose reputation, but it needs to be done. And the more people that stand up and speak what is actually correct and true, then you find out you encourage more and more people to do so, and you have a support like none other. So again, Duncan, what I'm going to say to you is I hope you have a change of heart. And I will put this out there because this is being speculated, and I don't think this is the case. But some people are saying that this could have been a jab, or this was a way for the victim to try to get back at something he was ashamed of doing. I don't think it's that, just because of the text messages we have from Daman to Brian, the text logs between Duncan and Daman, and then what Brian has testified to. So there's a retraction from Duncan, but not Duncan's friend Brian. So we still have one person. Either way, you can't force somebody to fight for themselves. You can't force somebody to voice their own story and keep fighting for their voice. You just can't. But what I'm going to say once more, and I'm going to end it here, is I encourage you to fight for your voice. You do have some contextual evidence, and if you really want things to change, and if you really want, closure is kind of different from everybody. Not everybody gets to address their attackers or their rapists or things like that. But you have a point to where you can do something, and you have a lot of people backing you. There's actually quite a few big YouTubers who are covering this: Clownfish TV, The Umbrella Guy, Yo Flash. There's quite a few others. So if you were to provide something more, or come out with something more damning, just because, here's the thing, let me explain something to you. Just because the studios, the house may not do something, but when enough fans get the word and get proof out, they're not going to want to support Daman. And as for financial harm or any sort of harm, it does not fucking matter. As I said in my last two videos, Daman chose this. The people who decide to do this nasty shit and prey on others and take advantage of what they consider weaker people, they choose their eventual financial ruin. They choose their eventual reputation getting ruined, their overall person getting ruined. That is on them. That is not on you for speaking out. And I don't know if you have a lawyer. I don't know. And I did hear that Damon Mills lawyered up. Very telling. Very telling indeed. So I don't know what happens from here. I don't know if this is where the story dies. I'm hoping maybe someone else will come out. And do I hope that there's more victims? Hell no. This stuff really, it's shit to read about. It's disgusting. It's triggering, depending on the severity. I mean, it's abhorrent to freaking hear about it happening to anybody. I don't watch this fucking crap on anybody. It's a freaking nightmare. Anyway, if somebody does come out, somebody else, I hope Duncan is encouraged, or if not, he finds his own courage just to go, you know what, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to get scared into backing down. I'm going to continue to pursue this, and whether or not the studios decide to do anything, that's up to them. But I'm letting people know, hey, this is what happened to me by this person, and this is who is involved now in your anime media. But that being said, you guys have a good one, and please don't be scared to speak out. Like, the more you get your story out there, and it is important to have it backed up, contextual, and things like that. I understand not everybody has that physical evidence, but still, the more that you're able to vocalize your story and understand how to speak it with clarity and just stand your ground, the better off you will be, and the better off you will actually make the environment better for people around you, because you're encouraging them to do the same thing.